Hello everyone. Today I will try to run a simulation dealing with the xenon or xenon poisoning. I will briefly introduce what is xenon poisoning in a nuclear reactor. We see this plot in which we have time in the horizontal axis and xenon load in the vertical. Xenon comes as a product of uranium fission, and it is a very good neutron absorber. So the higher the xenon we have in our reactor, the more the neutron reaction will be inhibited. So xenon poisons our reaction. We have the blue line, which is a startup of a reactor from a cold state, and then xenon reaches an equilibrium when the xenon that is destroyed by neutron capture is the same that the one that is produced by the fission of uranium. And then we see that at hour 50 the reactor is shut down and xenon starts to increase. That's because xenon is produced in a delayed manner. So when fission happens, xenon is not immediately produced. Iodine is produced, I think it's iodine 135, and then after 6 hours of half lifetime, iodine becomes xenon. And that's why after shutting down a reactor we have this xenon increase hours or days after the shutdown. The problem here is that if we want to restart the reactor after the shutdown, we will have this poisoning effect. It means we will need to withdraw more control rods than normal to have the same reactivity. In Russian or Western design pressure water reactors, we have some poison override time. It means if we are able to bring the reactor back to power in this short time after the shutdown, we'll overcome this poisoning and run the reactor at full power a few hours after the shutdown. But if we are not able to restart in this very short time, xenon will accumulate, and we have no other thing to do than following all this curve and wait like 48 hours for the xenon to decay to other more stable products to restart the reactor. That's in the PWR from Westinghouse, the VVR from Russia, etc., or the German Siemens, etc. But in the case of the RBMK, the Russian design that we are dealing with in this video, you are not supposed to restart the reactor after a xenon poisoning, because it has the famous positive void coefficient. If you withdraw rods more than value which is considered safe, you risk to have a critical excursion or a critical runaway, because you cannot control the reaction anymore. So when you shut down RBMK-1000, you are not supposed to try to withdraw more rods than normal to override this poisoning. Rather, you are supposed to wait all these 48 hours for the xenon to go away by itself. I will start now the simulator, and if you watch the previous videos, you saw that I always use cheat engine to fix xenon concentration at 0. I did like so because in the famous video of Comrade 3DR, he uses cheat engine to fix the xenon concentration because he thinks it's a bug from the software. The xenon is so high that you cannot reach nominal power. Even at 90% power, xenon keeps increasing in his simulation, and he tells everyone how to use cheat engine, and I used this, and actually it was very handy, because otherwise this simulation is quite complex already with all the things and without xenon. But I think that actually it's not a bug, it's just the normal poisoning that we will have in a real situation. So let me start all the schematics here. Okay, I like putting all these things down here. The turbine here. And here in the core status we see xenon concentration is 111.5% now. So I will not fix this to 0, I will just try to start the reactor with this xenon concentration, which is increasing because we are just after I shut down. So I guess the equilibrium concentration of xenon is around 100%, and because now we are stopped, but the iodine that it has been produced in the past, now it's decaying into xenon, we have this increase of xenon. So now we need to hurry up if we want to restart the reactor, because the more we wait, the more difficult it will be to reach the reactivity we need to reach the chain reaction. Okay, so I will try to be fast as usual, and I will not explain too much about what I'm doing to reach nominal power as fast as possible. So if the reactor levels and everything are fine, I turn on the 2 feed pumps. Sorry, these are water treatment pumps, not feed pumps. Then I turn on the 2 condensate pumps. These are the condenser circulating water pumps, not the condensate. The condensate is this. I will turn one of the 3 condensate pumps and switch the aerator level control into auto. Switch the 2 polishers into in position. Now I will turn off the 2 pumps of the offline core cooling system. Also close the outlet valve like this. The reactor drain control I will set into 4 inches and auto. And then turn on one of the 3 feed water pumps. The drum level control will be fine with 1 element control during the start and the startup valve active. Switch on the pump. Open the discharge valve. This is fine. And next, maybe I will already start pulling rods. I will start pulling rods because we already have a lot of xenon built up, so I prefer to start now. I will select the center core only. This is a safety procedure. I will select fast and start pulling. And we see in the train chart how there is a shy increase in the neutron rate. Okay, and now I will already start the loop 1 and loop 2, one pump in each loop, 1 recirculation pump. So I open the inlet valves. Okay, turn on the pumps. On, open and open. Increase set point of the main steam dam control, so it's ready to increase the pressure in the drum for turbine spin up. Okay, and we should do this because otherwise we will create a disk rupture trouble if the main steam dam control relief valve opens before we have enough vacuum in the condenser. That's fine, and I think we can already connect the turbine. So let's go to turbine support systems. We connect the lubricating oil, the hydraulic system that governs the valves, and steam drain. Not yet steam seal. Yeah, this was already open. Go to turbine control and reset because it's in trip position, and turn on the gear, the turning gear. The speed is increasing, and when it reaches 20 RPMs we can switch on the steam seal. The steam seal seals the primary and not primary and secondary, seals between the rotor and the stator of the turbine, so the steam doesn't pass through without creating work. So I start the steam seal, close this, and I'm still pulling rods. You see the central core is already at 60%, so 60% of the rod is in. I already extracted 40%. Now I will already open the reactor power control, switch automatic reactor control into on, and connect the auto scrum. Okay. Switch the ECC diesel pump into auto. Okay, you may realize that I'm not doing things in the correct order, because my only purpose here is to be fast, to bring the neutron flux up again to avoid the xenon build-up. So the first thing to do are all these safety features, like the diesel emergency cooling pumps and the auto scram control button. But you saw that the first thing I did is to pull rods to start to increase this neutron flux. So of course this is not a safe procedure. Okay, this is fine. I realized that Americans say Xeon or something like that instead of Xenon. Xenon, yes. I like saying Xenon, even if maybe it's not correct in English, because it sounds more like the Latin original element name of the periodic table. So because I'm speaker of a Latin language, for me it's quite natural to say Xenon, and I think it's more accurate to the origin of the periodic table elements. But it's exactly the same element as Xion, is Xe. Okay, and this is the isotope 135, which is the one poisons our reaction. Okay, we see that the neutron flux is higher and higher. That's good. We are not yet critical. We are in the source range, but the thing is increasing. And you see that the central core is almost totally withdrawn. It's only 20% in the rod, so I think I will withdraw it totally and then go to the full core. Okay, what else? The aerator system. We need to set it into auto and open the aerator vent valve. Of course, you don't need to watch all this procedure. I will, in the video description, I will put the time when I finish all the startup procedure, so you don't need to follow it. I have another video showing a kind of tutorial showing the startup procedure. Is the previous to this one is the one that lasts 48 minutes. In that one I give better explanation about what I'm doing, and I try to do in the correct order. Okay, this is almost 50%. We just got a decrease in the reactivity if you look at the trend chart. This is because we extracted totally the central core. So now it's time to switch to the full core. I will start pulling rods. And I will keep the velocity at fast because it's still very slow. We're at a neutron rate of 2% now. I will decrease the power set point to 1.5 to engage the automatic control earlier. And am I forgetting something? There is the condenser vacuum system. Okay, yes, I need to switch on the condenser air ejector. It will light up later. And reactor drain control is fine. The aerator is fine. Turbine is on turning gear. Feed water pumps and system, yes, one of the three pumps is on. And the loop 1 and loop 2 are recirculating water. I need to hold now quickly. Neutron rate went up to 7%. I will reduce velocity to medium and continue pulling rods. And I will open the alarms already. Alarm panel, acknowledge. Okay, hold. I went a bit too high and I got here the alarm. No, I didn't get the alarm for the too high rate anyway. I go to slow velocity now and continue pulling rods. So neutron flux still 0%. I hope to reach very soon 1% and be able to engage the automatic control. Hold now. Now we got the alarm. Neutron flux rate higher than 8%. And now it's a matter of keeping the trend in this area, not too low because it will take forever, not too high because we can get the alarm and even a scram. Okay, neutron flux is at 1%. I will reduce now power set point to 1 to see if it engages the automatic control. Increase to 1.5, pull rods. Hold. And I think now it's engaged. Do you see this sharp decrease here? So now I can already increase power just using set point. This is very handy. I will go to 5% and check everything and then continue. Neutron flux at 3, so it's catching up with the set point I just set here. And we see the rods are at 79%, so definitely there is this decrease of reactivity because of the poisoning. When we fix the xenon concentration at 0 with the cheat engine, we don't need to withdraw rods so much just to reach 5% of neutron flux. I will acknowledge this, and now yes, I will increase power 10%, and then we'll go further to 15 or even 20%. I will check the schematic just to make sure I didn't forget anything. It seems all the pumps are fine. Are here the water treatment, the recirculation pumps, the condensate pump. This is the feed water, and these two are the condenser circulating water pumps. Okay. Everything looks fine. The water is almost boiling in the drum. When it starts boiling, it will start creating pressure. So I will increase now to 15%. 15%. This is just to accelerate the procedure. You are supposed to keep this at 10% during the heating of the drum and increasing the pressure of the main steam line. Later I will use the manual procedure to speed up the turbine, because I can be faster like that, and when I reach the nominal speed I will switch to auto to be able to synchronize, and once I'm synchronized, just increase power following the normal procedures. And let's see if we can reach nominal power or not, because we have this poisoning here. The number is still increasing, 144.2 now, and we'll see when it starts decreasing due to the neutron flux. In the famous tutorial of 3DR, the one of 2 hours without voiceover, he says in the comments that he's at a power of 90% of neutron flux, and I think, if I remember well, he says he cannot pull rods anymore, and the xenon keeps increasing. So he thinks that is a bug of the, a bug of the simulator. But I rather think it's because the startup was not done in a enough speedy way. If you wait like 1 or 2 hours, this will build up a lot, this number, and even if you withdraw all the rods, you will not be able to restart the reaction. But if you do like I did, like really go very quickly to pull rods and leave the auxiliary systems and everything to be done later while you watch the neutron rate display here, I think it's possible to reach nominal power even with this poisoning. So you are taking advantage of the poison override time, hopefully. We got a message here, high deaerator pressure. Indeed, here we have 214 in the deaerator, and at the same time we have the condenser vacuum increasing. So now we are clear of disk rupture troubles, and the drum is at already 1300. I will increase power set point to 20 now, but I will decrease to 10% when we are about to connect the turbine. Okay, 20% high deaerator pressure. xenon poisoning had a very important role in the Chernobyl Reactor 4 or Unit 4 accident, because it seems one of the night shift operators did not understand very well how poisoning works, so they kept withdrawing rods in order to restart the reactor despite the poisoning. So this video, I think it's needed to make a transition between my previous videos in which I use cheat engine in all of them, and some future video that I'm planning, listening to the advice or comment of comrade Tatiana Jankovic, which asked me to perform the famous security test. So I think I will do this in the future. I also wanted to perform this security test simulation, but I'm not sure how it will turn up with the simulator, because I don't really know what is the underlying numerical model. So I don't know how far the simulator can accurately perform such an unusual situation. Okay, the pressure is almost at 7,000. I will reduce power to 10%, and now I can already open the valve here. Open. I will increase the point also a bit to 9,000, and the turbine is spinning. I know that at the end I need around 6% of opening to keep the nominal speed before synchronizing, but now I will open much more just to speed up the acceleration of the turbine. Okay, so coming back to what I was talking, comrade Tatiana Jankovic advised me to perform this famous security test in this simulator, but I don't know how far I can reproduce the real security test, because I don't know what's the underlying numerical model, and I will read the manual to see if this simulator can simulate the turbine, the offline turbine powering of the... Okay, I will close the valve now, because if I continue talking I will have a turbine trip. Okay, I reached nominal. Let's set it into auto now. We see the valve reopening to regain the speed, and that's perfect. That's super perfect. So yeah, I'm not sure about the simulator capabilities to simulate the... What is supposed to be done in this test is to see if the turbine, the inertia of the turbine during a trip of the reactor can keep the recirculation pumps in the loop 1 and loop 2 running to keep the reactor being cooled, and also to avoid the increase of reactivity if the voiding increases in a case of a reactor scram. Why we don't rely on the diesel ECC pump? Because this needs like 18 or 20 seconds to start and be at nominal speed. So during this time we need these pumps in the loop 1 and loop 2 to keep pumping water to avoid the negative effect that could have on the operation of the reactor, the positive void coefficient, if water starts boiling. So I'm not sure how the simulator can deal with that, and definitely I'm not sure how the simulator will simulate this catastrophic event in which you have a sudden increase of boiling in the reactor. We'll see. Okay, this seems to be perfectly at the right speed. I will turn on the scope. Okay, I will increase a bit reactor power just to 11.5%, because I like this. There is no reason for that. And okay, that's not right. I'm just waiting for this arrow to... Why the speed is at 97.4 and it's not increasing? Does it need more pressure in the main steam dump control? I will just increase the pressure a bit. I'm afraid to close the brake here because I think I will have a turbine trip if I don't succeed to close it at the top depth center. Why the speed keeps at 3597 exactly? That's quite strange. All these settings are fine. I will decrease back the power set point to 10. Come on, what's the problem? I will switch to manual, open a bit the valve, and switch back to auto. Okay, much better now. 994.3, but it's decreasing. It should not be decreasing. What's the matter with that? Is it because of the poisoning? No, we still have available reactivity. Okay, back to manual again, open a bit the valve, and back to auto. Now I will synchronize. Okay, ready to close the brake. Close. It doesn't close. Okay, there is some problem somewhere. The feed water pumps, one is on. We're in the startup valve. The turbine support systems are all connected. That's correct. I will decrease the set point. Maybe it's too high. To 8000. I will try to close the generator now. Brake. No. But what? Am I missing something? That's fine. The auto scram control is connected. Everything looks fine. The diesel is in auto. Reactor drain control is correct. Condenser vacuum, yes, it's engaged. The two pumps are on. We are in the startup valve. I will try again. Okay, I don't have the 3600 selected now. Okay. Close. Good. Good. And we have a load of 0.1. Let's switch to main. Following the advice of Comrade Tatiana Jankovic, we should switch to main valve immediately after synchronizing, because if we go to a negative generated load, then we will have a turbine trip. And now let's increase set point. Let's increase reactor power to 15%. And you see, even being at the main valve, I was close to 0, so we were still at risk of negative generated load because I was at too low set point, I think. Now the valve is closed and the reactor power is at 15%, so we are increasing generated load now. Also because when we switch to main, it takes some time to open the main valve, at the same time it's closing the startup valve, so you don't see immediately the effect. Okay, that's perfect. So now let's follow the the checklist. We will increase the set point to 10,000. No, I will keep it at 9,000. Increase reactor power to 15%, and when we go above 80 megawatts, we need the three feed water pumps. So I will restart the pumps, open this and this. We see this vibration here in the reactor level. This is because of the main valve of the turbine, trying to keep the pressure in the set point. How this works is when I switch to auto, it keeps the pressure set point that it had at that moment, and it opens and closes the valve to keep the nominal speed and this pressure set point. So that's why that's reason why this vibration. Okay, turn on the pumps 2 and 3 and open the discharge valves once the valves are open. We can switch to a 3-element control to the main valve. Other things are fine. The turbine control is already in the main valve, and we will close the drains in the turbine support systems. Close drains, here. Don't stop the seal by mistake, because you will create a turbine trip. Okay, that's fine. We can already close this, and now we can increase power to 20%. To surpass 20% of power, we need the second condensate pump. Okay, the second pump is on. And the second reactor feed pump. I think it means a recirculation pump. In an RBMK reactor, the recirculation pumps are very much like in a boiling water reactor, the core flow pumps. So this is not like the primary recirculation pumps in a PWR reactor. Those are more like the condensate system here. So I will open the schematic to explain a bit better. In a PWR reactor, we have a primary circuit, so we have water that takes the heat from the reactor and goes to a heat exchanger that makes water boil in the secondary circuit and makes the turbine spin. In this kind of reactor, the circuit primary and secondary are the same, so there is no such thing as heat exchanger between the primary and secondary. We have the steam, which is created in the drums of the reactor, go to the turbine, but this is steam of water coming from the reactor core. And then we have these condensate pumps here. We have 2 or 3 on now that pump back the water that condensates after the turbine back to the reactor. So the recirculation pumps in a PWR are very much like this. It's a pump that is pumping water just to bring the water back to the reactor to start a new cycle. But here the recirculation pumps are mostly to keep the concentration of bubbles constant. So this lets us control the voiding of this reactor. It's a way to control the reactivity in this kind of RBMK reactors. Okay, this is open. I will turn on the second pump and open the outlet valve. And you see the voiding was 4% now. By opening the second pump, we will decrease this voiding, and this will decrease reactivity. Perfect. And now we can increase power. We're supposed to place the thermal correction, but I don't like this too much. I will not use it. I will just control the reaction by the set point of neutron flux. And now we are free to go to up to 100%. Why we need this main valve? Why we don't open this valve at 100%? Because if we do so, the pressure set point will drop a lot and we will create a scram. So first we need to increase power set point, and when we are close to 100%, then we have some room to open the valve without creating too much drop. So we are at a power set point of 40 almost. And let's have a look into the xenon concentration. We have 173.6 and it's still increasing, 0.7 now. So let's keep increasing neutron flux. Now it's a good moment to look at the maximum fuel temperature, which is 600 degrees almost, and also turbine vibration and differential expansion. Now it will be critical when we surpass 50%, these two parameters. Okay, we are at 50%. And now I will set the main valve into auto and open it a bit more, because I want the pressure to be close to 7500, which is the minimum. So I will open step by step. And we see generated load increases as I open more the valve, because there is more steam flow going to the turbine. I will stop more or less at 77 or 7600. Which is a bit above the, okay, 7567. Okay, which is a bit above the minimum pressure in the drum. And we keep increasing power set point. We're at almost 70%. I will connect the third pump in the recirculating loops. Open. On. And open the discharge, the outlet valves. Okay, so it seems everything is ready to go to 100%, it seems. It's just a matter of withdrawing rods, control rods. I close these two windows and keep increasing power set point. I will go to 80% and wait a bit to see how things are going. We see the main valve at 73%. I will go a bit, even a bit lower here. Okay, exactly above the limit, so we don't get the alarm, and then will be the closest possible to the pressure set point to reach the maximum power. Generator, reverse power. Okay, I got the alarm before. Luckily we didn't have trip. I don't know why I got this. What should have been done to avoid this? I don't know. Okay, let's increase power set point to 90, and we are very close to nominal power. And let's look at the Xenon. Now it's 170, and now it's decreasing. Now it's at 169.7 and decreasing. And this is a very good news. It means indeed there is not a bug in this simulator. People who cannot get this up to power because of Xenon, it's because they took too long time and Xenon built up too much. So the only thing you can do is to wait like 48 hours for Xenon to disappear or to decay to more stable Xenon isotopes. And this is totally fine. It is real physics. It's not a bug. So the only thing you can do is to hurry up and bring this neutron flux as high as possible, as soon as possible, to override this Xenon poisoning. And it seems we succeeded. It seems that the Xenon equilibrium is around 100%. So I guess this is because percentage of Xenon makes no sense at all. So I guess the 100% means the equilibrium at nominal power. And that's why when we start the simulation we're just above 100, is 100 something, like 110. And we reach almost twice the equilibrium, and now it's decreasing again. So if we wait a long period now, like 5 or 10 hours, we should reach close to 100 again. And now everything is stable. I think I will go to 96. Generated load is 906 megawatts. Let's see if we reach 1000. It doesn't look like, because I'm already 96% and we're not at 960. This is because of the delayed thermal expression. Okay, so why is still this vibration here? Yeah, it's because of the main valve. You see the main valve swinging from left to right here. Okay, I will go to 98. Main valve at 93%. I want to open the main valve at 100%, so I think I will go to the maximum neutron flux now. 99.5. We see the neutron flux at 99.4, but it just blinked to 94.5 for 1 second. So I will leave this 0.5%. Okay, now it seems I have the room to go to 100% of power set point. Yeah. Neutron flux. That's super risky. Okay, 99.9, 99.8. Okay, that's good. We have a voiding of 18% with the 3 loops, with the 2 loop 3 pumps on. We have 970 megawatts and the main valve is at 95% opening. I will switch to manual now and open the main valve to 100%, hoping that the pressure set point doesn't drop too much. You see when I switch to manual, this vibration disappears because the valve stops opening and closing to keep the pressure. I don't think this opening and closing is very good for the turbine blades. Look now, so smooth. Generated load going up. We went below 7500, but I didn't get the alarm of low pressure. Let's see when exactly it appears. I will keep opening the valve. No alarm yet. I will open it a bit more. No alarm. Power 980. Okay, I got the alarm now and the pressure is 7300. So I guess it's somewhere between 73 and 7400. It says temperature, but it means pressure. I'm pretty sure this is a mistake. And now I will keep opening the valve to 100%. Even if we have the alarm, we are not too far from the value we need, so it's fine. Okay, main valve open at 100%, power 991, but I will wait for things to stabilize. Thermal power 94.6%, neutron flux 99.8, and we have all the inner core withdrawn the control rods at 100%, or they are inserted at 0%, and the rest of the core they are inserted at 48%. So we have very few available reactivity left. We have the Xenon decreasing, so hopefully we don't need to withdraw too many rods during the next hours, because the Xenon decrease will compensate for this reactivity need. Let's have a look into one of the rods here, 47. The rods are being withdrawn, but I think this is most likely because of the fuel remaining is decreasing quickly. And this, I think this is a simulator bug, not the Xenon concentration, the very quickly consuming fuel. Generated load 982. Trends become almost constant. Drum pressure 7000, so like 300 below the set point, or the minimum pressure that it should be. And definitely now the Xenon is decreasing faster when we reach 100% of neutron flux, and that's very good news. It looks like this is realistically modeling the neutronics of this kind of reactor. And now I will do a fast calculation to see what's the theoretical generator power output when this is at 100% thermal power. 983.4 divided by 0.9. So at 100% of thermal power, after a few hours, when the decay products build up and create more heat, we should have 1040 megawatts, which is in line of all the calculations I made before. So this is around 1050, 1040 megawatts, this nuclear power plant. Okay, so that was it for this simulation. I just wanted to show how to deal with Xenon poisoning. We are not supposed to restart this reactor during a poisoning. We are supposed to wait 48 hours because this reactor has this famous positive void coefficient, and if we do so, we risk to create a critical runaway. But I did this quite fast and I could reach 100% power without having problems, and now we see the Xenon decreasing. So everything is fine now. And I think this video was needed to introduce the next video, in which I will try to simulate, hopefully, or at least I will see if this is possible to do with the simulator. I will try to simulate the famous security test, which is a proposal of comrade Tatiana Jankovic. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon. Bye.